All too often, a common trauma response to grief is apparently time travel. When we are in pain, we want to fix it. We want to solve the problem. It's human instinct to problem solve. It's a natural impulse. When we are in pain, the first thing we do is immediately reach outside of ourselves, scrambling in desperation for the remedy, the cure, the painkiller, the drink, the drug, the one-night stand, the codependent enabler who will commiserate with you in your woe is me pity party with a bottle of rosé and a pint of Ben & Jerry's. This is exactly what workplace bullies are doing. They are clearly very monumentally screwed up people, and their drug of choice is bullying. When they are not trying to use you as their surrogate shrink, they are projectile vomiting out all of their nasty, negative crap all over you, because people who cannot self-regulate cannot handle negative feelings, and they have to make it your problem. A word of caution: when you have trauma, you cannot think clearly. If you take action, it will be cringe and you will regret it. If you are newly traumatized, it's best not to do anything at all. Don't do anything, don't say anything, just take time to heal. The problem with problem-solving pain is that too often people look for solutions in the past in what was done before, which is an exercise in futility. If the problem had been solved in the past, it wouldn't be a problem anymore, would it? But people fantasize about these apocryphal halcyon days in some imaginary time in the distant past that actually never happened. Culturally, there's a lot of collective whinging from unhappy people, usually older men, about some mysterious decline in society, because every new generation is automatically more stupid than theirs, and there's all this romanticizing about some time in the past when supposedly everything was better, usually their youth. Get off my lawn. What that is some straight up make America great again shit. When exactly was America great? In between lynchings? The 1950s were not great for women. They weren't great for black people, and I don't know what gay people did. And if you were a black lesbian, you were really screwed. Make America white again means everything was better when I didn't have to care about people who are different from me because they had no rights, no visibility, and no voice. And what that is narcissistic exceptionalism. Narcissistic exceptionalism convinces people not only that they have it worse than everybody else, but also that they deserve better than everybody else. If you are a target of workplace bullying, do you really think you are the only one? The whole point of this channel is to let you know that you are not alone. And you're not the first either. Will Smith said racism isn't getting worse, it's getting filmed. Just because something is new to you does not mean it's new. You're just noticing it more. Tale as old as time. Nothing's really getting worse, and nothing's really getting better either. Read a history book. Better yet, read the real historians of human civilization, our authors. Why do we still read classics from hundreds and thousands of years ago? Because human beings don't change. We are no longer evolving people. Why do we still read Greek tragedies or Shakespeare? Because our English teachers make us? Because they're relatable. Nothing but a bunch of jealousy and vengeance and rage and violence and war. Nikolai Gogol wrote brilliantly about workplace bullies, petty, miserable, sniveling little functionaries and sycophants crawling around like babies, scrambling for scraps. Jane Austen lampooned Mean Girls. Those were about 200 years ago. Ain't nothing new under the sun. If you lived in ancient Egypt, I guarantee you would be complaining about all the same shit. Pretty much the only difference between then and now is antibiotics and hygiene. They was stank. They was kicking out some major stank. And these people had sex with each other. Ew. There is no golden age because there never was. There has never been a time in history that was great for anyone because human beings have never found a system that works for everyone. And when people are not looking at the past, they're looking at the future, another apocryphal imaginary time that does not happen. On the right, it's all about Armageddon, the apocalypse, end times, Judgment Day, the second coming, when you alone will be saved into eternal paradise, as opposed to all those other people who won't, because you are so special and secretly superior. Narcissistic superiority and exceptionalism again, but you see it on the left too. The New Age community has been blathering on for over 20 years about this supposed grand magical shift in consciousness that has not happened, and it never will. People, the age of Aquarius is not happening for another 400 years. And at that point, humanity will be extinct because we can't get it together on climate change. What was wrong with Pisces? Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, the great benefic. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, the great malefic. If anything, the age of Aquarius is going to be a lot worse. I would much rather be in Pisces than Aquarius. I'm pretty sure that the age of Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, is truly the last age of man. And no real astrologer in the world actually gives a shit about the age of Aquarius because it doesn't actually mean anything. It's an offensive song that was written in the 1960s. You can't generalize 2,000 years of human history with one sign. The last 2,000 years were supposed to be the age of Pisces, otherwise known as the Christian era, because both Pisces and Christianity are symbolized by the fish. And it wasn't very Christian, was it? All the signs and all of the planets still exist. They are all in everyone's chart, and you still have to deal with all of them. I actually think it's disgusting that people are not only romanticizing but also promoting some kind of cataclysmic event that will effectively wipe out half of humanity, but of course never them because they are so special and superior. You're not only better than all of those left behind, you're also better than all of your ancestors who preceded you because you alone get to be alive for such a special time because, again, you're so special. That's not only one hell of a narcissistic superiority complex, that's also pretty damn disrespectful to all of the generations of ancestors who came before you, whose lives were just as important as yours, and who now watch over you. What it really is a lack of mindfulness. Looking to the past or looking to the future, either way is just another way to avoid the present. I don't have the coping skills to deal with my present reality, so I'm going to time travel. I can't stand this pain, so I'm just gonna blow everything up. That's a lack of mindfulness, and it's extreme. Human beings really should have learned by now that extreme measures don't work. But of course, they haven't learned that because they don't learn anything because they don't change. The Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, and human beings have been on it for a maximum of 300,000 years. That's about 0.5% of the age of the entire planet. We mighty full of ourselves, aren't we? People, you are living in a solar system. Everything rotates. It takes Pluto 244 years to get around the sun, but it gonna get there eventually. And the United States just had its Pluto return. Life is cyclical. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Ain't no end times. Ain't no judgment day. There's no grand magical shift or awakening, for fuck's sake. There's just life. Life goes on and human's gonna human. Basic bitch is gonna basic. If you feel some discomfort in your present reality, that means you're human and you're alive. Welcome to the world. No one said it was going to be easy. Meanwhile, some of us are taking small, incremental steps to alleviate suffering and improve quality of life. I'm creating videos that no one watches, and some folks up in Boston are trying to get a law passed, not sitting around wishing for the annihilation of the human species or waiting for solar flares to zap us into enlightenment. I hope that helps. Take care.